I know you guys are thinking right now, can we see lion's teeth? Yeah, we can see lion's teeth. You guys ready?
Sharp rays of sunlight crept up from the horizon, casting a golden radiance across the savanna. Morning has arrived in South Africa, and with it, the beginning of a journey that was soon to become one of the greatest animal encounters I have ever had. Today we are venturing out into the world-renowned Kariga Game Reserve. This wild place spans over 10,000 hectares, and the landscape is a splendor unlike anything you have ever seen. Endless rolling grasslands, the perfect habitat to safely house and keep hidden one of our planet's most iconic predators, the African lion.
All right, Coyote, about ready to hop in the Jeep?
Yeah, well, the plan today is to track down a pride of lions, but trust me, it's much easier said than done. We've got a lot of ground to cover. You guys ready to track down the pride?
Let's find those big cats.
Here we go.
Tracking lions on foot could take days, if not weeks. So the crew and I teamed up with a secondary team composed of field veterinarians that had been deployed through support of the Reserve Protection Agency. Led by Dr. Waldo Dreyer, their collective goal from a scientific perspective was to safely tranquilize one of the larger resident males in an attempt to collect biometric data. This important research would help ensure the health and well-being of the pride. So with the plan in place, we parted ways and headed toward opposite ends of the reserve to begin our search for the pride.
I feel like luck is on our side today. Got a lot of ground to explore, but we got two teams out. Just a matter of tracking down the pride.
Since 2004, Kariga has been home to a very healthy population of lions. Yet finding and getting these big cats in front of the cameras would be no easy feat, as they are constantly on the move and in search of their next meal.
Got an ostrich way off in the distance there. So much open space. And with that open space, the pride could wander out of any one of these clumps of bushes. Really gonna be tough to find these cats. Got some zebras over here. That looks like good prey. There's a lion. Zebra steak would sound pretty good. Wait, what's this? Oh, I got something cool. Follow me. Look at this. That is a perfect wildebeest skull. And if ever I have seen evidence of a lion kill, this would be it. Look at that. Right at the back of the neck, where the head connects to the neck right there is all snapped off. Wow, well this is obviously ancient at this point. No skin or flesh on it, but yep, likely fell victim to a lion. All right guys, let's keep searching. Here, come out, check this out. You know what that is?
Bones.
Bones, skin, fur. That's a zebra's leg right there. And zebra's legs don't just fall off on their own. That is absolute crystal clear evidence of a lion kill. It's old though, this is not fresh. So we do know that the pride has been through here, but not recently. All right, well, this is, like I said, gonna be tough to find this pride of lions.
Stronger evidence of the pride and their whereabouts was necessary if we hoped to have an encounter. So we loaded back into the Land Cruiser and continued our search deeper into the interior of the reserve. Finding tracks is the most reliable sign in one's quest for locating an animal, and you are always guaranteed to find the freshest tracks near water.
Check this out, guys. Completely fresh lion track right there. Like most cats, they try to avoid walking in the water. And the cat definitely moved up the side of the road here. That means we are hot on the pride's trail.
So Joe, what'd you hear?
There's literally lions on top of this hill.
So the other team's got eyes on the lions?
Yeah, and they're on a kill. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Coyote! Coyote, the other team's got the lions over the hill.
What?
Yeah, the lions are just over the hill and they're on a kill too.
On a kill?
Yep.
No way! Okay, yeah, hop up in the Jeep. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. They're on a kill?
Yeah.
All right, guys, well, I'm out there picking up pieces of old kills, and apparently the lions have a kill. The other team has spotted them. We're gonna make our way over there now. Here comes the lion episode. Awesome!
With lions located on a fresh kill, we quickly moved across the reserve to meet up with a vet team. Dr. Waldo joined our vehicle, which would give us a clear view of the tranquilization process. So with the darts locked and loaded, it was go time.
This is exciting. I've never seen a lion in the wild before. I know you guys are amped. Oh man, this is gonna be one epic day.
Tranquilizing a lion is considered a routine checkup. Once asleep, the biometric data will be collected, and then a reversal serum will be administered for the animal to wake up.
Okay, they just radioed from up ahead. The lions are just up over the top of this next hill here. We have found them. All right, guys, we are rolling up on the lions right now. I can actually see one of the big males right here off the side of the vehicle. Wow, so impressive. We're trying to be really quiet right now. We don't want to startle them. Believe it or not, we don't want to scare the lions. I'm the one that should be scared right now. Oh, there it is, there it is.
As our land cruiser approached through the flowing savanna grasses, my heart began to race at an incredible speed. This was an unprecedented level of danger, which meant everything had to go right, because if it didn't, that meant everything had gone horribly wrong. Never before had I seen a pride of lions in the wild. And as they came into view, their primal strength and beauty was a wonder to behold. In total, 4 lions had been spotted on the fallen carcass. Our primary target was the male, but the team decided that they also wanted to check the health of the females. So if the opportunity presented itself, they would be darted as well. And in that split second that seemed to slow down in time, we all clung to the edge of our seats with focused anticipation.
Oh, got one. Nice shot. Wow, you see him spring into action like that? Okay, we thought that maybe the lions would move up, but we darted one. We've got 4 lions, 3 females, and a young male. It's a young male, right? Yep. Wow, still an enormous cat. All right, getting ready for the second dart. Here we go, we got the male coming up around the backside here. Right at the upper forefront of her chest. Go. No, not yet. Okay, the male's coming around the front. The females almost have a clear shot. Super windy though, could throw out the dart. Do not want to hit the animal in the face. Here comes the shot. Got him! All right, the male has been darted. 1 lion left. Wow, okay, we have 3 of the lions darted at this point. Male and 2 females. 1 female still does not have a dart in her though, so we're trying to move the vehicle to get in a better position. This is intense. Hold on, guys. Be aware you got a lion. Here we go, look at this, good shot. Zoom in. Got it. All lions have been darted. And they are all staring at us now saying, okay, what are you guys doing out here? Wow, that's intimidating.
All 4 lions darted.
With all 4 cats successfully darted, we watched from a safe distance as one by one, they succumbed to the effects of the tranquilizer serum.
All right, now it's just gonna take a few minutes for the tranquilizer to set in. They'll tell us to get out of the vehicles, we'll move in, get that biometric data.
Yeah, the males.
Wow, my heart's racing right now. How about you? This is crazy.
Time was of the essence, so the vet team needed to move quickly. This meant that as a camera team, we would have a very limited window of time to capture an up-close presentation with these sleeping carnivores. Given his iconic stature, I was beyond excited to showcase the male, while in the background, the veterinarians would be collecting the sought-after biometric data from the females. In human terms, this procedure is comparable to a checkup at the doctor. When it comes to lions, this includes pulling a small hair sample from the tail, checking body length, paw length, overall health, and lastly, microchip identification.
That is a big cat right there. Look at that. Got this other female down right here.
There's just lions laying around everywhere.
You have lions everywhere. Keep in mind, guys, these lions are just asleep. None of these animals are actually hurt. Here it is. Here's the male. That is unbelievable right there. This is the closest I have ever been to a wild apex predator of this size. Oh, you can feel it breathing. Oh, beautiful animal. How this creature is enormous, and it is still a sub-adult male lion. I want to come on this side just to show you this paw. You've got the mane. You can see its face is covered up there. It is asleep. Look at the size of this animal's paws. It is bigger than my hand. That is crazy. And so heavy, so much weight and so much muscle in the front section of this cat. You guys want to see those claws, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Ready for this? Hold on, let me kind of sit down here. Get ready. That is impressive right there. And these claws are constantly growing throughout the course of the animal's life. Now, like all cats, they have 4 toes up front, but also a dew claw on the side. You see that?
Wow.
That is the key piece of power right there, because when they lunge toward a water buffalo or a wildebeest and they latch on, it's this claw that hooks in place and makes sure that that prey does not get away. And that's what they do, latch on and then go for the neck. Now the lion, believe it or not, does not have that powerful of a bite force as compared to other big cats, only somewhere between 600 and 900 pounds per square inch. But what they want to do is go for the trachea. You get the trachea, you're cutting off the windpipe, and that animal's gonna suffocate. Now, the males, while they can hunt, aren't the ones that are actually hunting. So while when we came up on this pride, you see that they've taken down an impala, it's likely the females that killed the impala, but then the males will come in and they will feast first. Wow, this cat is just the coolest creature I have ever been around. Let's take a look at its head real quick. Look at the size of the ears, massive ears. They're capable of moving these individually. They have incredible sense of hearing. Look at the mane of this animal. It's so dense, and it smells like South Africa. It smells like the savannah, a little bit of grass and a little bit of sand. Now you look at this mane and you think, well, what is the purpose of a mane on a lion other than to have an epic hairdo? And the purpose is actually to protect them when they're fighting to protect territory. All this dense fur, when another male is rearing up using its claws and its teeth, protects this lion's throat and its face. All right, you guys ready for the reveal?
Let's see it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this back very slowly. Let's see the lion's face. There you are, buddy. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. What a handsome animal right there. Look at its whiskers, incredibly dense. I know you guys are thinking right now, can we see the lion's teeth? Yeah, we can see the lion's teeth. You guys ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna slowly just kind of pull the lip back here a little bit. Wow.
Whoa.
Look at those canines.
Holy smokes.
Unbelievable. Now lions have 3 types of teeth. Up front here you have these incisors,
which are used to carry things. The females would carry their cubs around. They're also used to pull meat away from the bones. Of course, the canines are used to inflict a kill. And then in the back here, go ahead and zoom in, you see that? All these premolars are used like serrated shears to saw through the meat. And I can see the lion's tongue in there. It's incredibly grippy, like sandpaper. They can actually use that tongue to lick meat away from bones. They can lick fur off, and believe it or not, if a lion were to lick your skin, it would take the skin right off. Not exactly like your house cat. Wow. Hi, buddy. Let's see, I'm just gonna kind of take a look at his eye there. See if we can zoom in there. See, the pupils are slightly dilated. It's completely out right now. See that? Get a tight shot there. The lions have incredible eyesight, not only during the day, but also at night.
Look how big its head is compared to you.
Massive.
It's as big as your body.
Can you imagine what it would be like to get an appendage of your body or your head stuck in the mouth of an animal like this? And keep in mind, guys, this is still a sub-adult. They get bigger than this. I'm guessing this lion's probably somewhere between 250 and 300 pounds. They can tip the scales well over 500. Okay, I'm gonna just flip this back up over its head so that the sun stays out of his eyes. Oh man, is your adrenaline rushing as fast as mine is?
I'm just trying to stay calm, actually.
Okay, we ready to collect the biometric data? All right, let's do it. Got to get the measurements on this lion.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to the back side here.
Okay.
So we've got 123.5.
Okay.
What do you have there?
54.
Okay.
All right.
Lift
Paw
front,
measurements.
6.
And this is important data for us to know
8.
exactly the size of this lion's paws. So if they're out there
And
we're
5.
looking for tracks, you know exactly which lion this is.
You see all these kind of markings on the face. Also over time will help you identify the individuals. It's got quite a striking one right here.
Yeah.
So as close to go up, I think they are ready to.
All right, guys, what's really cool is that this lion doesn't actually have a microchip in it. So we are gonna get to insert one today, and that will allow us to keep a tight record of this animal anytime that they then tranquilize in the future to be able to collect its biometric data. Wow, cool. All right, so where do you insert the microchip?
Yeah, so the microchip's got a nice thick needle. It's about the size of a grain of rice. So
I don't like needles. I don't do very well with needles.
So we insert it right in the middle between the shoulder blades.
Okay.
So we just make a little tint of the skin.
Okay.
Put it underneath the skin.
Ooh, just a little prick, right?
And it goes.
Boom, just like that. Wow. All right, guys, well, it's time to apply the reversal drug so that this male wakes up and heads back off into the wild. But this certainly was epic. Getting to explore here at the Coyote Game Reserve, tranquilizing 4 lions, and getting up close to collect biometric data. All right, time to wake up.
Yeah, just keep it in the muscle and push the plunger back a bit as soon as you're in with the needle. It's
All right, guys, lion's about to wake up. Let's head back to the trucks. Man,
That was amazing.
woo! That was cool. That was cool.
All right, Coyote, what's happening right now?
We have administered the reversal drug, and now we are just safely back in the vehicle waiting for the lions to wake up. I've got a GoPro positioned just in front of this female. We've got zoom lenses in on the male. The ones up here underneath the bush, we're gonna also keep an eye on them, and in just a few minutes here, they're gonna pop back up and disappear into the underbrush.
All right. I think this is it.
You can see the lions are beginning to wake up. This lioness right here in front of us is starting to move. It's been about 15 minutes. Sounds about right.
Since the dawn of mankind, we have feared that which is capable of hunting us. So much so that we in turn chose to hunt many of these natural predators to the brink of extinction. The lion is no exception. Today our mindset has changed, and fear has been replaced with love and protection for these incredible beasts. Several hours after the vet procedure had concluded, we returned to the hilltop and checked in on the pride. Our hope was that they would still be in the area, allowing us to get a final glimpse of these beautiful cats. Then suddenly, in what seemed like a moment slowed in time, the king of the savannah materialized from the underbrush. He stepped into the golden glow of the setting sun and moved with an elegance that defined him as the ruler of this land. And as we watched, our cameras all fighting to capture the moments as they played out before us, it was not difficult to pull my eye away from the viewfinder so that I could appreciate all of the beauty in this animal with my own two eyes. I know that I will never forget my time spent alongside that sleeping giant, my fingers placed upon its massive teeth, the moment it woke back from its slumber, and the sight as it strolled along through the flowing grasses, staking claim as king of the savannah. For the various non-predatory animals that call the South African savannah home, survival is no walk in the park. Roaming giants, such as the elephant, depend on their massive size and intimidating presence to keep out of the predator's sights, while smaller hoofstock like the impala depend on their speed and cunning agility to escape the jaws and claws of doom. Yet size and speed are no guarantee that you will survive, as this wild place is a constant circle of life where every single day there's a good chance that you or someone you know will be hunted. Survival sounds Today we are visiting the Karaga Game Park, an easily accessible and secure stretch of wilderness located in the Eastern Cape that is home to a variety of African icons, but most notably, the cheetah. These beautiful cats, despite their calm demeanor, are considered to be perfect predators, and their lethal attack comes with a combination of stealth and speed. Since childhood, I have adored cheetahs, so much so that I even dressed up as one for Halloween. See those distinct eye stripes? My field marks were on point. As an adult, getting up close with one of these speedy cats for the Brave Wilderness channel has always been a top priority. So today, I'm going to be given the chance to work alongside Terry, a cheetah conservationist. And with her help, I'm going to have an incredibly special encounter with Monty.
All right, Coyote, you ready?
I don't know if you can ever be ready to enter an enclosure with a cat. Now, I've palled around with a bobcat, and also you guys have certainly seen the ocelot episode, but today's the first time we're getting to work with an official big cat, the smallest of the big cats, the cheetah. And I have loved cheetahs ever since I was a little kid, and this is the first time I'm ever gonna get to interact with one. So I'm a little nervous. Hopefully it will acclimate to me quickly and we'll have a good interaction. But the cameras are fired up and ready to go, and I see Terry signaling that it is time to enter the cheetah enclosure. You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Gosh, listen to that purring. Wow. Look at you. Full grown, right?
He's fully grown.
Monty is full grown. Now can I approach Monty?
You can approach him.
Okay.
Just come directly to him.
This is my first interaction with a cheetah. Hi, buddy. This is either gonna go really well or really bad. Let's see. Hi. How are you? Oh my gosh. Gosh, can you hear that purring? I'm sure the camera can pick it up. Look at his whole throat is vibrating. All right, well, do you think that we can bring Monty down here into the open and see if he'll come up on that log for us? Oh, nervous. This is so cool.
Come boy.
All right.
Come on, Tika.
Wow.
Come on, Tika.
I'll tell you this much, you get that close to a cat, once you enter through the fence and you're on this side with it, my heart's racing right now. It's very intimidating. And keep in mind, like I said, this is the smallest of the big cats. And still, look how large this animal is. A perfectly designed predator. We'll get into more of that in a second, but let's transition Monty over here out into the open. We're inside of his enclosure right now. This is his domain. Right now, Mario is about to make contact. Look at this. The real goal in this moment is just for Monty to get acclimated to myself, to Mark, to Mario, to realize there's cameras inside of his enclosure. Here he comes. Hi, Monty. The thing that's so cool about this cat is the length of its legs. Perfectly designed predator and designed for speed. That's the first thing I really want to take a look at. And as we know, cheetahs are the fastest land predator. Look at the size of the paws. Big paws. Just go pet those paws. Look at that. And the claws don't fully retract. Now they use those claws like cleats, and that will actually help the cheetah to gain traction as it springs into action after anything that it's going to try to catch.
So is this at all intimidating to you, Coyote?
Yeah, you know, it's tough to get completely comfortable next to a cat of this size, but as long as Monty is purring like that, Terry tells me that he is content and feeling really good. And I saw Terry doing this, scratching the sides of his head. Oh, okay, maybe not yet. All right, Monty's heading this direction over into the shade. Let's follow him.
So Coyote, what does the coat feel like?
It is very dense. The fur up on top of the head is bristly, and on its haunches, it kind of feels like the fur of a buffalo, and then it's much more sleek running down the side of the animal. You can see how streamlined this creature is. Obviously, perfectly designed for speed. Cheetah speed.
Oh, just flicked you with the tail.
I got whacked with the tail there. Monty, can I analyze your tail real quick? Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Whoa, look at that.
sure can. There you go.
Man, that is a long tail right there. Rather heavy too. I like how Monty decides that once we try to get a shot, he's gonna flop over on this side. So it gives you, which is actually kind of cool and what we want to look at, some of the design of Monty's coat. Cheetahs are so iconic for their spots, which allow them to perfectly camouflage in all of the tall grasses. So it's a mix of light and shadow that allows them to hide as they're stalking their prey. Look at these little ears. They have great sense of hearing, great eyesight. Now it's a diurnal species. They primarily hunt during the day. And if you take a good look at Monty's eyes there, look at how big they are. They have incredible vision that allows them to see prey from extensive distances, and then they can slowly stalk in and prepare to ambush an attack.
So Coyote, is a cheetah similar to a lion where it's in a pride, or is it like a tiger where it's a solo animal?
Oh, it's a great question. What most people don't realize is that cheetahs, females specifically, are mostly solitary unless they have cubs. But when it comes to males, a group of cheetahs is called a coalition. So oftentimes you'll see 2 or 3 brothers hanging out together. But the females, primarily solitary unless it's during breeding season or if they have cubs. It is almost time for lunch, and what's really cool is that Terry is going to allow us to stay inside the enclosure while Monty has his lunch. You guys want to get some cool shots of that?
Do we get lunch after?
If you like horse meat, then yes, you can also have some lunch.
I was thinking like a sandwich.
A sandwich is probably a better idea, huh?
All right, let's go watch Monty eat.
Let's feed Monty. Out of all the animals that we have featured on this channel eating, I think this is probably going to be the largest predator. This is the real deal right here. That is awesome. And just like all big cats, they chew from the side. They actually use their large canine teeth to inflict the kill. It's almost like scissors, the way that they have to cut the meat apart into chunks and then swallow it down whole. Whoa. Wow, the sound of those jaws just crushing through that meat's incredible.
So you can never do this with a wild cat?
No, you would never get this close to a cheetah in the wild regardless, but you know, Monty is so used to being around humans, it's okay for me to be this close to him while he's eating.
Now when cheetahs are out in the wild and they get a kill, they will oftentimes eat as much as they can. They have a lot of competition out there in the grasslands. Hyenas will come in and steal away their food. Lions will chase them off the kill. So once you get something to eat, you take advantage of that moment and chomp down as much as you can.
And after this, Monty's probably gonna what, take a nap?
Take a nap and then a meaty poop, I would guess. Hi, buddy. Yeah, you're such a good cat. Seems pretty comfortable with me at this point.
Coyote, you're really close to a cheetah.
That's really close to a cheetah right there. Real close to the kill zone, too. I think Monty is pretty comfortable with us, though, at this point. Well, that was pretty cool, getting face to face with the speediest cat here in South Africa, the one and only Cheetah.
The Karaga Kama Game Park is home to a wonderful cheetah conservation program, and it's animal ambassadors like Monty that are helping to educate the public about these cats and the importance of preserving their futures. When I look back on my time spent working alongside Monty, it's hard to describe in words what it feels like to make contact with a cheetah. Here is this animal that I loved as a kid and am now face to face with as an adult. It was truly a dream come full circle that took me over 30 years to accomplish. And in those final moments, as I said my goodbyes to Monty, I felt my inner child smile, knowing that cheetahs are just as perfect in real life as they always had been in my dreams.
There's no wilderness greater than the backcountry of Montana, an epic expanse of untamed beauty that is home to some of North America's most incredible animals. Every year, thousands of adventurous hikers set off down rugged mountain trails, escaping the confines of everyday life and immersing themselves into the wild. Being lost in nature, we all hope to catch a glimpse of something beautiful, a chance encounter, and an experience that will never be forgotten. The scenario we just painted for you is a common instance that can happen when hiking out here in the backcountry of Montana. What you're actually looking at here is Adam. Now, Adam was raised in captivity, and he's a bear that's used for educational purposes and as an ambassador for his species to teach you guys what to do and not do if you ever encounter one of these beautiful animals in the wild. So scenario number one, and best case for you, is that you stumble upon a grizzly bear and it doesn't see you. Stop, stay quiet, back up slowly, and get yourself moving in another direction. Now the second scenario you could find yourself in, you turn a corner and all of a sudden, it's you and a grizzly bear. You see the bear and the bear sees you. Now this is the most dangerous situation that you can be in. Grizzlies don't typically want anything to do with humans. What you want to do is make yourself look as big as possible. Whoa bear, whoa bear, whoa bear. If that bear feels threatened, it should turn around and walk back up into the forest. Once you know that the bear is out of eyesight, you huff it to your car or wherever it was that you came from and get yourself to safety. Now the third and the worst case scenario is what happens if that bear advances. You are never, I repeat, never going to outrun a grizzly bear, so don't even try. A lot of people think, hey, I've got on my hiking pack. Well, let me get off my pack, throw it to the bear, and try to distract it so that you can get away. This pack on your back, this is your barrier between the bear's teeth and its claws. What you want to do is drop to the ground and get in the fetal position as quickly as possible. Get down here like this, tuck in, press your arms against your legs, and most importantly, get your hands behind your neck. Now, grizzly bears don't typically eat people. What they see us as is a threat to their territory. As soon as that bear feels that the threat is eliminated, it will probably just disappear back up into the wild. Now, you might take a couple bites, you might take a couple swipes, but using this tactic increases your chances of survival by about 90%. Wow! Look at that set of teeth. I just gave you 3 great tactics for surviving a bear encounter, but there is one other thing that could save your life: bear spray. Don't ever head off into the backcountry without it. If you have a bear encounter and you've got time to get this off your hip and spray it, these bears have incredibly sensitive noses. There's a good chance that bear is going to head off in the other direction and you're going to escape the encounter unscathed. And that was intense. Getting swatted at by a grizzly bear. Okay, so now we want to get you guys up close with some of Adam's incredible features. Grizzlies are opportunistic omnivores, meaning that they'll eat anything that they come across, from grasses like you see them chomping on here, all the way up through moose. Now, bears use their noses to follow their prey. They can find dead animals, they can find berries, they can find just about anything. And oftentimes what grizzlies will do is follow a wolf pack to where they have killed a moose or a caribou, and they'll actually be able to scare those wolves away, and then they've got their meal. That's the opportunistic that I'm talking about. All he needs to use is his size and mass to drive anything off of a kill.
One feature about this bear that is incredibly impressive is those front paws, absolutely enormous. And at the ends, armed with 5 massive claws that average about 3.5 to 4 inches in length. A single swipe from that paw can take down a deer. And one thing beyond those claws that's impressive are those teeth. A bite force of a grizzly bear is about 1,100 pounds per square inch. That's enough to crush a bowling ball. You don't want to be within the grasp of a grizzly bear. The grizzlies also have incredible hearing, and that's why you don't often see bears in the wild, because they can hear you coming from miles away. Now, the grizzly is the largest brown bear species that we have here in the United States, and at one point in time, their territory ranged from central all the way through the western United States. Unfortunately, as humans encroach upon their territory, they've been pushed to near extinction here in the lower 48. Only 800 grizzlies still live here in Montana and about 600 in Wyoming, all of whom live in Yellowstone National Park. Completely awe-inspiring to be in the presence of a bear the size of Adam. And the scenario that I showed you guys today is something that hopefully you never find yourselves in, but I hope that you learned a little something in case you ever find yourself in that worst case scenario. The Alaskan wilderness is by far the most epic-looking location we have captured on camera. Its towering mountains can be seen no matter what direction you turn, and as your boots trudge across the vast silt flats, you feel a sense of complete awe for this magnificent landscape. Aside from the scenery, this far northern state is home to a number of iconic animals, including bald eagles, moose, wolverines, and the most powerful predator in North America, the brown bear. And these tracks right here are probably only about 10 minutes old. And that means the bear is just ahead of us. In the past, I've had the chance to work up close with a brown bear, specifically Ursus arctos horribilis, more commonly known as the grizzly bear. We filmed an episode of Breaking Trail alongside Adam, a bear who was raised in captivity and who is very used to working in front of the cameras. The goal of interacting with this 750-pound animal was to show you what to do,
Whoa, bear! Whoa, bear!
and not do if you ever encounter a grizzly and are faced with an attack. It was one of the most intense episodes we had ever produced, and to this day has garnered millions of views, all while educating the public on proper safety techniques when hiking in bear country. And it was no more than a couple years later that I would be put in the position where I had to implement these techniques, as I encountered a bear in the wild. We had just completed production on our highly anticipated Wolverine episode, and the sun was getting low in the sky. It was a great time to get some location photography, so the crew and I headed up an old logging road and deep into the wilds of the Alaskan backcountry. At this time of day, bears are very active, so we made sure that we were armed with bear spray. We headed off the road and down onto the silt flats, where we spent time getting a few epic-looking shots. Mark and Mario wanted to film the sunset, so they headed upriver, leaving Austin and I behind to shoot some photographs. Once finished, we began to walk back in the direction of Mark and Mario, when all of a sudden, we were faced with one of the most dangerous encounters in the animal kingdom.
She's going right towards us.
Okay, back up, back up, back up, back up.
Walk to the car, okay? Walk to the car.
Back up, so. Yo, bear! Yo, bear! Back up, bear!
Back up, bear!
Back up, bear! Back up, bear! Good bear, good bear! Pursue slow.
Yo, bear! Yo, bear! Yo, bear!
Yo, bear, yo, bear!
Yo, bear! Yo, bear!
Go back, bear! Go back, bear! Holy cow.
Woo!
Holy cow. That was insane. We had a mother coming straight up on us with multiple cubs. That was pretty wild.
Whoa!
Keep your guard though, because she may have worked her cubs down the line there. Oh, wow. That was crazy.
What was that, 3 cubs? 4 cubs?
4 cubs.
4 cubs.
4 cubs and a sow. Just pace yourself slow here. We don't know where she moved off to. Wow. Okay, just go slow. That is my hand shaking, bear spray, ready to go if she charged. That was crazy. That was a mother with 4 cubs. That is the closest you were ever gonna get to a brown bear right there. Less than 100 yards. That was insane. How you feeling right now?
Dude, I'm like shaking.
Dude, my hand is shaking.
When
Look
she
at these
stood
tracks.
up, I was like, oh,
She stood
man.
up, hind legs right there. Look at that track.
Woo-hoo-hoo,
That
baby.
is the closest you're gonna get. And she had cubs.
A large number of bear attacks happen when a human stumbles upon the exact scenario Austin and I were faced with. Nothing is more dangerous than a mother bear defending her cubs.
Okay, so we've now met back up with Mark and Mario. The bears actually ran right in between us. You guys were up ahead trying to find bears, and they just split the difference between us. But come here, check this out. Look at all of the tracks down here in the mud. And I would have loved for them to get a little bit closer, but you have to make that wise decision at some point. You can see that there's a bunch of log snags here, and I had to make that call that was alert the bear, let them know that Austin and I were in front of them, because if the mother got up over the top of these logs, she may have felt pinned and charged us. Thankfully, they went the other direction. That may have been the most intense thing that has happened the entire trip. And right now, I'll show you a couple. Right now, I'll show you and right now, I can't even talk. And right now, we'll show you a couple photos that Austin got of the bears. I don't even know how you had the wherewithal to pop up your camera and get those shots, but holy cow, that's being less than 100 yards from a mother brown bear and her cubs. Wow, that was crazy.
And that's why you always carry that.
And that is why you always carry bear spray when you're out here in brown bear country. Wow, that was crazy.
Okay, so right now the convoy is headed out to the area where the rhino crash has been spotted. There's one specific male that we are targeting this morning with a very large horn.
For well over a century, humans have been decimating populations of our planet's animals, many for reasons that make absolutely no sense. The rhinoceros is arguably the most recognizable species for this global atrocity. To date, nearly 95% of the world's rhino population has vanished, and most of it is due to one single thing. This is the fight to save a species, and our journey to the front lines of battle begins at the Karica Game Reserve. I first learned of Karica in March 2012, just after a dark shadow cast upon the reserve and left them to face an unimaginable crisis. 3 of their rhinos were tranquilized by poachers, brutally stripped of their horns, and left for dead. One animal lost its life immediately. The second passed within days, its injuries too much to endure. But the last, a female known as Tandy, miraculously survived due to the Herculean efforts of this man, Dr. William Folds.
Looking after these animals is a massive collaborative effort. No single reserve can do this alone, and we do rely enormously on the support of people around the world. Getting this message out is critically important.
In many large animal procedures, helicopters have proven to be a useful tool, as they allow veterinarians to cover a considerable amount of distance in a very short period of time. White rhinos often graze across open savanna, clustered together in a family unit commonly known as a crash. And based on human intentions, this social behavior has its pros and its cons. The positive is that rhinos are big, making them rather simple to locate from an aerial perspective. While the negative is that when they are crashed together, they become an easier target for poachers.
Now we're moving from the thicket area into this grassland space, and this is where I would expect to find white rhinos, so we're just scanning the area to see if we can find the right one.
Our mission centers around a specific male whose horns have grown to a length that makes him such a target. So in order to give his facial ornaments less black market appeal, it's been decided, and the permits granted, for us to give him a little trim.
We got eyes on the target animal.
With our bull on the run, and now clearly in sight, Dr. Folds aligns his shot.
Okay, tell me when you're good, Alex.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wow, look at him move. That dart looks good. Nice and perpendicular. We're now going to set the stopwatch. This is a really important part of the process because we want to track time from when the dart goes in.
It will be several minutes before the tranquilizer serum takes full effect, giving us a narrow but necessary window to land the chopper and move in as a ground unit.
All right, so we got ourselves into a little bit of a tricky position here because he's got his head in a bush, which we're going to have to clear up now.
A rhino procedure is best described as carefully coordinated chaos.
Just listening to his breathing, which is nice and deep, so that's good.
But at the same time, it's a masterclass of veterinary medicine. Here's how it goes down. The chainsaw masters take over, and in a matter of minutes, they intricately landscape the dense, thorny foliage.
Right now it's important for me to just be as out of the way as I can be. Chainsaws going, they're taking down all these branches. We gotta make space around the animal before we can get in and do the procedure.
Next, Dr. Folds administered a muscle relaxant, which helps to calm heart rate and lower the rhino's intense rush of adrenaline.
So it's all about keeping him relaxed and those muscles untense from all the running. Obviously he's fired up, right?
Yeah, so we need good relaxed muscles that improves blood circulation, gets the lactic acid out of there, and while he's shaking like this, he's burning up oxygen.
Shadowing the vet team, I follow precise, organized directives as we collect biometrics, inject a multivitamin, and replace the batteries on this big guy's ankle-oriented tracking collar.
Listen to the power of the breathing. Exchanging breath with a white rhino. Such a beautiful animal. You don't realize truly how big they are until you're literally right next to them. Look at the size of this animal's head.
Finally, it's time for the most important order of business, dehorning.
Do I have 2 seconds at this point to talk about the horn a little bit?
Sure.
So, here's what's gonna happen. Today we are performing a dehorning procedure. There's a couple very important things that you need to know. This horn is not ivory, this is keratin. Just like the same material your fingernails and your hair are made out of. If you look close at this horn, you can see all of these fibrous.
Let him go, pull him left, yeah, come, pull hard. It's gonna be a bit wobbly. What this means is we've got our anesthetic dose a little bit wrong and not too serious because we're getting circulation back in his legs. We're just gonna walk him towards the trailer because that's where he needs to end up.
Well, nothing will make your heart race like a rhino getting up mid-procedure. This is one strong animal, even when it's in this state. You can only imagine how powerful this animal is at full throttle.
He should go down any minute now.
The thing I don't want to have happen is this horn to come up and hit me straight in the face.
Okay, just don't support him. If he falls over by himself, it's nice and soft here, he can't damage himself. Okay, great, perfect. We're just gonna give him a chance to settle down.
That was crazy. Okay, we have successfully moved the rhino out into a more open area, which is perfect for this next aspect of the procedure, which is horn removal. Now, I want to be very clear about a couple of things. This is what poachers are after, this giant piece of horn. And the problem is that poachers don't come in and just saw off the piece that doesn't touch the root. They come in and they cut it out all the way down to the root. So that goes down and into the snout. Causes massive bleeding, it's catastrophic damage that in almost every instance kills the rhino. So as much as I hate to take away a piece of this beautiful animal, the true thing that defines it, this is how you save a rhino. And I cannot stress enough that this does not hurt the rhino, not physically in any way whatsoever.
Nice and cool. Okay, let's do back horn. This is the procedure that we dread doing the most on rhino. It's just an absolute sacrilege to take these off.
So do you think that this throws off the rhino's depth perception at all by not having the horns in front?
I don't think so, but they know that they don't have a horn. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously have to learn that when they wake up from all of this. We're going to walk him now.
Okay.
So we're just going to rock him onto his other side. If he stands up in the process, then great.
1, 2, 3, push! Push!
Just keep supporting him. That leg's going to be a little bit floppy.
Here he comes,
and then we're going to go left. He's in first gear. We're going to change to second. Keep pulling. We're going to line him up with the trailer.
With the dehorning complete, our final task is to load this bull into a trailer, relocate him to another part of the reserve.
That was unbelievably exhausting. Just the force that it takes to balance that animal. Dr. Fold said probably about 1.5 tons, and that's not a full-grown rhino.
So what we're looking for in transit there is that he's got complete control over his body. We obviously don't want him to be fighting this crate, but he must be able to move himself around and keep himself on his feet without being thrown around by the movement of the vehicle.
This new, expansive habitat is home to several first-generation cows, and it will only be a matter of time before he claims this territory, breeds, and diversifies the genetic population.
What an animal, eh?
Unbelievable.
Hey, amazing. To think he's still got growing to do too. He's not even fully grown yet. Incredible things.
The charge of emotion right now is almost hard to explain, and as I prepared for today's scene last night, I was laying in bed thinking to myself, there are a number of emotions that run through me. Sadness, first and foremost. I can't tell you how sorry I am that we had to take the horn from that beautiful animal. Yesterday we were filming B-roll with it in the wild. I mean, I looked right into this animal's eyes, thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure that's the one whose horn we're gonna take tomorrow. So I had to carry that with me going to sleep last night. So that's where the sorrow comes in. Sorry that we as humans have put our planet in a state where we're now being forced to take the prized element that defines a rhino away from it, a dominant male. This is everything that makes up his emotion, his spirit, his confidence. And within that animal's soul and body, he's gonna wake up and wonder, where did my horn go? It makes me angry to know that we as humans are doing something like this to our planet, doing something like this to our animals. And the reason these animals are being poached is because people in other countries, in Asian countries specifically, believe that the rhino horn has medicinal purposes. I can tell you with 100% certainty, it has been proven by doctors that that is absolutely false. Another thing is that wealthy people would love to have this on their mantle, but I can tell you this much, there is absolutely no honor in having the horn of a rhino on your mantle. And for as angry as I can be at the process that poachers go through, you have to understand that in many instances, the poachers themselves are almost forced into these situations. This horn is worth money. If they get this horn and sell that horn, that money provides for their family. It is a vicious cycle. So the sorrow and the anger build together, and I realized to myself, you can't fight this fight by being angry. You fight this fight with having hope. Dehorning white rhinos is necessary because of the way that they move in herds. The next animal we're going to look at is the black rhino, a slightly more solitary animal. And what we're going to try with this next segment is to find out whether or not technology can be the answer to the future of these animals, and not taking its horn, but providing something that may be the front lines of conservation.
This horn will be immediately taken off-site to a secure, undisclosed location. And I want to note that dehorning is only one aspect of multi-dimensional wildlife protection at Karica Game Reserve. There are around 20,000 white rhinos left in the wild, which classifies these gregarious giants as near threatened. Yet they are not the only rhinoceros in Africa. The black rhino, the more elusive species, is listed as critically endangered, and its wild numbers have dwindled to barely 5,000. Visually, there are a few noticeable differences between the two. For starters, black rhinos are smaller in weight and stature as compared to whites. Taking a closer look at their heads, you will notice that white rhinos have pointed ears and a square upper lip, whereas blacks have rounded ears and a pointed, prehensile upper lip. At ground level, these key features make identifying Africa's rhinos quite simple, but from a helicopter, it's all about experience.
This is typical territory for black rhino. To find a rhino in here is incredibly difficult. We can fly for hours here and not find one.
Dense Albany thickets blanket the hillsides, creating ideal foraging and hiding habitat for black rhinos. But for Dr. Folds and the helicopter team, seeking and successfully darting our target animal is a noticeable challenge.
Coyote, come in for Mike.
Go for Mike.
Eyes on the radar, we gotta move out.
The good thing is that the hillsides aren't too steep, but we might end up on the side of a cliff doing this procedure, so things are about to get intense.
So we've identified the right animal. Just going to load a dart here quickly. So what Alex is going to do is just line up this rhino, and when she's comfortable, she'll tell me when I can take the shot.
Okay, ready?
We are good.
Good.
All right, rhino's been darted. Nice. This is all open, flat area right here. Okay, got animal down right here.
This is typical black rhino. He's got himself with the head in a bush. I'm just going to put his blindfold on, make sure we protect his eyes.
All in all, black rhino veterinary workups are very similar to our previous white rhino experience. Carefully coordinated chaos.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
The biggest difference is that instead of taking this animal's defining feature, we'll be performing an interhornal implant procedure that disguises a GPS tracking system into the rhino's rear horn.
And you can notice how much larger the horn is on this rhino because it's never been trimmed before.
Using a Dremel, we carefully carve a cavity which provides a snug fit for the GPS.
It's amazing to hear it breathing. This is what we're fighting to protect right now. And the toe structure is quite a bit different between black rhinos and white rhinos. You see these 3 large hooves up front, how agile these animals are. Being able to move around on these steep hillsides, a lot of cushioning in the foot, so these toes can almost grip around rocks. For such a large animal, it's amazing how agile they are.
Next, a strategically colored dental epoxy is used to fuse the unit in place, keeping it camouflaged and out of the battle zone if this rhino ever squares off with another male.
You can see how non-invasive this device is on the animal. Now, once that epoxy is cured, we will grind it down slightly to blend right into the horn, put in the reversal serum. This animal will be good to go.
Right, let's go, guys. Remember, their wake-ups are different, so we need to get out of here.
Okay.
All the way.
All right, the transmitter is officially locked in place in the horn. That is what you call a successful mission right there. We put the reversal serum into the animal, and we got the drone up in the air. We'll be able to follow it as it tracks back and off into the wild. Yes! This was incredible.
Looks good. He's finding his feet very nicely. His anesthetic was smooth all the way through. Very happy about that. He didn't give us any surprises, which was good for the humans. And I'm actually very impressed with the implant. We managed to get it in there with a lot of space around it, so it's been a good procedure.
I am excited to have participated in one of the first interhornal implant procedures that has been performed on this species, and the technology linked to it will help protect this animal and its horns on a daily basis. That's how you do 2 rhino procedures in 2 days. The white rhino dehorning, the black rhino with a piece of technology that might change the face of conservation. What an unbelievable experience. After traveling a journey like this, you arrive at the realization that your final destination has somehow become a new perspective of the world. What happened? Where did we go so wrong that as humans, we have put a fictitious value on the horn of an animal that created a black market demand worth more than gold, diamonds, or oil? When are we going to stand up, and who is going to break the wheel that drives the game of horns? Brave Wilderness, in collaboration with Global Conservation Force and Karika Game Reserve, have a pioneering vision to help the future of Africa's rhinos. We are building a safe haven in the Eastern Cape that may become a last stronghold for the preservation of these animals if poaching is not brought to an end. What we do now does truly echo in eternity, and I can promise you, in less than 10 years, these animals will be extinct in the wild if we do not take action now. This is the truth of the rhino's plight, but you can change their future. Become a warrior and join the fight by clicking the donate button. so that together we can prevent the loss of these vanishing giants.
This is the closest we have been to a jaguar yet. This cat's definitely actively hunting. She's very slowly slinking through the water hyacinths and the taller grasses. It's a beautiful morning here in the Brazilian Pantanal. Today we're heading out on the Cuiabá River. This protected habitat is known for its high concentration of jaguars, one of the world's largest cat species. I'm going to be working alongside Abby Martin. Now, Abby is the founder and president of the Jaguar ID Project. And over the past decade, she has been cataloging these incredible cats. She's not only giving them names and collecting their stats, but she's creating a genealogy family tree. To this point, she has documented over 300 of these beautiful felines. So with any luck, we are going to see some beautiful cats, get some epic shots, and learn all about the work that Abby's doing.
These big cats are the true kings and queens of this Brazilian wilderness. And the moment you catch sight of one, their mystique captures you in a way that never lets go.
This is the closest we have been to a jaguar yet. We've got two of them right down at the water drinking. Wow, beautiful. Probably never gets old seeing jaguars, does it?
She's getting up.
Over the past quarter century, the northern Pantanal specifically has become famous for its high concentration of jaguars.
Not too many people know about this place. You know, it's one of the most biodiverse wetlands in the world, but like most people, you tell that you're going to the Pantanal, they don't even know about it. But you know, everyone knows about the Amazon and it's the world's lungs, but the Pantanal is kind of like the heart, it's like the beating heart. So it's super important to protect this area, and I think using the Jaguar, we can do that together.
Once upon a time, cats in this area were heavily hunted for the fur trade. Many others were killed by farmers who saw them as a threat to livestock in what is commonly known as the jaguar-cattle conflict. But the good news is that this population is currently flourishing. And now, people travel from all around the world to admire, film, and photograph these cats, as local communities recognize that a living jaguar is far more valuable than a dead one.
Amazing morning so far. This is our second jaguar sighting, and right now the lighting's really nice. We actually haven't really seen jaguars on the sandbank that often.
That's a cool shot right there, coming right up to the water's edge.
So the unique markings that I look for on Patricia is this L that kind of frames her eye there. And then on her left, right where, like about where her heart would be, there's almost a rosette pattern that looks like a heart.
So what's super cool is Patricia is Abby's favorite cat. Patricia is the logo for the Jaguar ID Project. So this is so cool that we are filming the cat that is literally the symbol of the Jaguar ID Project on the day that we're out here filming with Abby. How crazy is that?
That was awesome. That was the first time they've ever walked towards the camera, so we got head-on shots.
You pressed record, right?
Oh no, yeah, we did.
To capture the best cinematography of jaguars in action, Trent and Maria spent months building, testing, and ultimately rigging a camera and gimbal system that was designed specifically to the specs of this boat. These will be our beauty shots.
Patricia is very slowly slinking through the water hyacinths and the taller grasses. Abby said she's in hunting mode, and the way you can tell is their shoulders become hunched and they stick closer to the ground, just like you might see your own cat doing as it stalks, you know, a little laser pointer in your family room. This is a much different scenario, though. This cat's looking for Caiman.
Our boat driver is saying that she wants to cross the river.
The boats have given her enough space now. Hopefully she's going to make it all the way across. These cats are incredible swimmers. The Jaguar is the most aquatic-oriented big cat on the planet. The speed at which she can move across the river is it's crazy. This cat is just zooming.
The jaguars know these waters like the back of their paw. But as humans, to help us navigate the complex maze of rivers, we hired the top adventure outfitter, Biodiverse Brazil Tours, and their superstar boat captain.
This cat's definitely actively hunting.
She's entered the reeds now, which is, where the caimans hide. So we'll see what happens in the next few minutes.
She's coming right into view. We find ourselves fixed right in the middle of a full-on jaguar hunt.
That was an attempt right there. That was awesome. Jaguars are considered super apex predators. And aside from their grappling, retractable claws, their primary weapons of choice are kept hidden within their skull. Robust and relatively short by design, it is densely packed with muscle, providing them one of the strongest bite forces of any cat species. But their teeth, those will send chills down your spine right before they snap it. Specifically designed for penetrating the thick hide and scales of prey items like caiman, just a single bite is powerful enough to crush the back of a skull or sever the spinal column, rendering their victim completely helpless. When it comes to being an effective killer, nothing in the mammalian kingdom is more lethal than a jaguar.
Now, one way that we're able to keep an eye on the cat without physically seeing her is just watching the movement of the grasses, which are much taller than she is, and also the flight of birds, because the birds are the first alarm sign that a cat is in the area.
Okay, so the jaguar has decided to forge the river. It is swimming from one embankment to the other. It's a very wide stretch. We're just giving her lots of space so we don't spook her. And she's gonna try to hunt this other shoreline where hopefully there will be some better options for food. She missed. Oh, so close. My heart's racing. Ah. Abby, how did she miss that one?
You saw how she kind of was trying to grab with her hands.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get a hold and then she get a hold with her mouth. And
yeah.
You start rolling in the water, but it's escaped again.
Ah, what a close call. So Abby, we're getting into another cat's territory, Estella's, who we saw last night. Will she hunt in Estella's territory?
Yeah, she'll continue to hunt here. If Estella feels like she's gonna get too close to her kill, there could be a cat fight.
Wait a second. Estella caught a caiman last night? Yes, she did. And wouldn't you know it, we just missed it. We had been watching her sleep for several hours, but chose to go downriver to film a couple drone shots since she didn't seem very active. Then all of a sudden, a call came over the radio waves and boats began rushing to the area where we left Estella. And as we arrived, the last thing we saw was her pulling a Caiman up the embankment and out of sight. Talk about frustrating.
We missed a hunting behavior. We missed a jaguar catching a Caiman. We had the opportunity for the shot. We had it.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We got to move on, and we'll find a way to get the shot, and that's the nature of what it is.
I imagine that these two have already encountered before, like their territories overlap. But when food's involved, it's a different story, you know, so.
We'll see what happens.
Well, we lost the cat. Patricia disappeared up over a hill and deeper into the jungle, and we have not seen her for about 20 minutes now. The good news is that all of the boats are gone. We are the only boat out here now, and we got the closest we have been to filming a jaguar catching a Caiman. She literally had her paw on the front of the reptile, but unfortunately it thrashed, got away, and she remains hungry, just as we remain hungry for capturing this amazing shot. We are all so busy trying to fight for the life that we want that most of us never take the time to slow down and appreciate the very moment we are living in. The jaguar lives and dies by its daily moments. There are no opinions, no influences, no regrets for being anything other than exactly what they are: perfectly designed survival machines. Unfortunately, we never reconnected with Patricia. But 2 days after our departure from the Pontotown, our friend and wildlife photographer, Marlon DeToy, witnessed Patricia finally catching a Caiman. Jaguars can sometimes go days without having a meal. It's all about being in the right place at the right time. And when it comes to filming a kill shot, the exact same philosophy applies. What an amazing experience, getting to explore the Brazilian Pontotown for 7 straight days, filming its most celebrated apex predator, the jaguar. Big thanks to Biodiverse Brazil Tours for getting us into the environment, and a big thanks to Abby Martin and the Jaguar ID Project for making us a part of their conservation research. Abby is a light of hope in the world of conservation. Her story and undying commitment to the preservation of these jaguars goes beyond the physical realm and transcends into the spiritual domain. She truly is the mother of jaguars, and her work is worthy of a standing ovation. If you want to learn more, or would consider donating to the continued protection and monitoring of this jaguar population, make sure to visit the Jaguar ID Project. And if you want to embark upon a grand adventure of your own, Biodiverse Brazil Tours will gladly get you into the realm of these iconic cats. Over the years, I have had the chance to work with many adorable baby animals, but none of them were built like a tank. Today I'm visiting the Zululand Conservation Trust's Rhino Orphanage, and for the past year, they have been tending to the needs of a little orphan rhino named Lyco. Lyco arrived at the orphanage several days after being born. Malnourished and grossly underweight, he was extracted from the wild because his mother had an infected abscess on her udder, which made it impossible for him to properly feed. The milk distributed from a cow to her calf is crucial. It contains a fluid known as colostrum, which has rich levels of antibodies necessary to promote growth and health in newborn mammals. So in the wild, without it, Lyco would have certainly died. Oh, smells good. This is not baby rhino milk powder, it is horse. Millions of years ago, rhinos and horses shared a common ancestor. And today, they're both classified under the order Perissodactyla. That goes on top. And now, it's time to feed Lyco. Oh. Yeah, there you go. That is some serious chugging power right there. Now, at any point, do I want to give Lyco a little bit of a break, or is it just, uh-oh, Dorothy? That's Dorothy, Lyco's friend. I know I didn't make any milk for you, I'm sorry. Almost there, almost there. And that's it. You drink it all. Coyote's special blend consumed in just a matter of seconds. And now we go to pellets?
Yeah.
Hand feeding?
Yeah.
So do I just kind of put it flat like I was feeding a horse?
Put your hand inside.
Oh.
They don't have teeth in the front.
Yeah, just those big squishy lips.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. We're going hand into a rhino lip. There we go. Get my hand all the way up in here. Okay. Oh, their lips are so squishy and very slobbery. I'll be sure to use my hand sanitizer after this, okay? Nom, 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 nom. That is a handful of baby rhino slime. At the orphanage, Lyco was placed under the constant care of Simone, where he was fed milk every 2 hours, while plasma drip helped strengthen his immune system. Eventually, this skinny little rhino began to show signs of improvement as his weight increased and he gained noticeable strength to add to his very rambunctious personality.
He's been in my care at the facility since he was day one.
Wow.
1 day old, yeah. So we have a very strong bond. That's really special for me. Didn't actually realize how a rhino could bond with a human so closely, and yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
White rhinos are quite gregarious, so once he was healthy enough, Lyco was provided a companion, an athletic, all-attitude, take no funny business from anyone goat named Dorothy. They were besties at first sight, and since that day, they have been inseparable. After a nutritious breakfast, it was time for some exercise. And you never know what's going to happen when you enter the paddock of an 800-pound baby who has no concept of his own strength. This is part of daily enrichment right here. Being out in the exercise boma. He's got a little tail wag going. Careful, careful. Now let him put his head up in the air.
I see you, buddy. I see you.
How many months old is Lyco?
He's 10 months old.
10 months old. At even 10 months, you can see he is an absolute powerhouse. Solid muscle. Watch out for that horn. Little treats.
It's like, I'm
He's
not
so
scared of him, but it's like you don't know what he's gonna do.
He is rather intimidating even at this size. All he needs to do is swing his head once in the wrong direction. If he catches your knee, leg broken. So he's just doesn't know his own strength at this size. He's a very, very powerful animal. So we gotta be extra careful. Uh-oh, Mario's stuck in the corner. Or is it electric fence?
I didn't know if it was electric or not.
No.
That's why I was freaking out.
Outside one.
Got cornered by a rhino, you know, just every morning routine, you know.
Come on, Lyco. Let's see. I'm gonna come right here. Yeah. Good morning. I'll eat the whole thing. Here, I'll get some out. There we go. Okay. Watch your camera. Oh. Here. Oh, buddy, you feel just like an old baseball mitt. I know. Chin scratch? Okay. Yeah, chin scratch. Let's see. That's good. could see all the hoof marks on him from Dorothy. I didn't know what those scrapes were initially until I saw her jump up on him. That is so funny. Yes, you're eating my knee. See, very strong lips.
What's up, goatee?
Look at that. The Zululand Rhino Orphanage takes in young animals whose parents have either become victims of poaching or, like in Lyco's case, were unable to properly care for them. Lyco will not be the last animal to thrive under the supervision of this orphanage. And like those before him, he will eventually be released back into the wild to carry on the future of rhinos as another survivor's success story. Once upon a time, in a faraway land known as Colorado, a beautiful animal roamed the countryside, where day in and day out, it balanced the ecosystem. Traveling in packs, these predators moved with stealth, darting in and out of the shadows as they stalked the seemingly endless herds of deer, elk, and bison. The unbroken wilderness stretched further than the raven could fly, and as alphas took claim over territories of their own, it seemed this way of life would last forever. It was good to be a wolf. Then through a series of unfortunate events, the westward expansion of pioneers, the decimation of native species like buffalo, and the introduction of domestic animals like cattle, life for a wolf changed. All of a sudden, everyone was afraid of the big, bad wolf. Humans quickly decided that wolves were bloodthirsty, villainous killers that must be destroyed. And this inaccurate narrative cast a long dark shadow that these animals could not control, could not rewrite, and could not escape. According to Parks and Wildlife, the last gray wolves were eradicated from Colorado in the late 1930s, and have not roamed this wilderness since. Today is a new day, and with our help, that is going to change. As a child, I would dream of wolves often, with the vision that I would one day witness a pack running swiftly through a dense forest, on the hunt and in hot pursuit of their next meal. It's a dream that is yet to come true, and for many years, the Brave Wilderness team and I have been trying to capture a meaningful episode that centers around the plight of these incredible canids. The Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center is located roughly 2 hours outside of Denver. All of their animals are rescues, and their mission is to educate the public about the ecological importance of wolves, coyotes, and foxes. I'm really excited. This is going to be the first time in my life that I've entered an enclosure with wolves. I'm going to get to meet the wolves at some point, and then the ultimate payoff will be us actually feeding some of the wolves a deer carcass. Several days ago, Darlene and her team acquired a deer that was hit by a car, and we're going to get the chance to place that carcass in an enclosure, enter it, and watch and film these wolves actually do what it is that they do. Wolves eating. This is going to be an epic day. Today I will be working with founder and CEO, Darlene Kababel. Early in her life, Darlene was terrified of wolves due to their misrepresentation in popular culture.
Are you a good girl?
My love for wolves started a long time ago, actually by rescuing a wolf dog from a shelter that was going to be euthanized. And when I rescued her, she actually became my inspiration of wanting to be a voice for wolves. This has been a long journey to get to this point here. My heart and soul goes into wanting to be a voice for wolves, and excited about one day getting them back out into the wild.
Through this relationship, Darlene overcame her fears and recognized that her path in life was to not only rescue wolves, but to help others see them in a positive light. My goal is to do the same. I have no fear around wolves. I'm genuinely excited to work with these animals, and I definitely want to make a good first impression. To prepare for this moment, Darlene suggested that I get to know some of the center's other ambassadors. So in the days leading up to my wolf encounter, I was given the chance to work with a pair of red foxes, where I witnessed their clever tactics for outwitting a human.
Hi, how are you? Look at this.
The same cleverness that would be exemplified by a wolf.
That's cool, right? Oh. All right, there he goes. He's got my glove. Let's see what happens. No. Look who got their glove back. Oh, I got it.
After that, Darlene introduced me to a coyote. Posturing and tone play a crucial role in deciding an animal's acceptance of humans. And in just a matter of minutes, I was able to earn the coyote's trust.
This is amazing. Amazing. I thought it was going to take so much longer for him to get comfortable. He must know that I'm one of his friendly cousins.
This was a huge step for me and demonstrates that even a timid animal felt comfortable in my presence. By successfully interacting with these smaller canids, Darlene is now confident that I am ready to advance to the next level, entering an enclosure with wolves. The gray wolf is considered the largest of the canids. Males can reach 150 pounds, and while they do grow larger than the females, a lady wolf only weighs in at around 90 pounds. My first encounter will be with a wolf known as Orenda. Like all wolves, Orenda is always on high alert, with her senses firing on all cylinders. Front-facing eyes provide an incredible field of vision with highly tuned depth perception. Ears perked, this wolf can hear sound frequencies from many miles away and can detect a multitude of sounds human ears cannot. But Orenda's most powerful tool is her nose, which contains roughly 300 million olfactory receptors, making her sense of smell 40 times greater than that of a human. I mention these senses because they immediately allow Orenda to tune in with foreign objects, like cameras and bearded strangers, that are about to enter her home.
Now, Darlene said I need to take off the majority of my outer clothing. That's so that the wolves don't grab onto my hood. As you can see, this jacket has some fur on it, which looks like a great thing for a wolf to grab onto and play with. And they're extremely powerful. The last thing I want to happen is for a wolf to grab me and start dragging me somewhere. So I'm gonna also take off this vest, and then I'm gonna put on my Wolf Warrior in Training vest. Now, Darlene did also say to take off my hat because the wolves may take it, but it's keeping my head warm right now, so I think we'll just see what happens. And I think at this point, I'm ready to enter into the enclosure and become one of the wolf pack. Here we go, a coyote meeting wolves. All right, Darlene, I'm geared up. I kept the hat on. If they take the hat, I feel like I'll be okay with it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so through here?
Yes, are you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
All righty.
I'm excited.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in first, then I'm gonna shut the door after you.
Okay.
It's a double gate system.
Okay.
Secure. All right, so this is our second gate here. It's a big step down, so be real careful. It's icy out here in January. Okay, so the white one up there, our little Arctic wolf, his name, he's a male, is Isha.
Hi, Isha.
And then we have Orenda, that's over here.
All right.
And that's the female. There she is. So she probably likes you to get down on her level there.
Okay.
As you can see, there's some deer fur that you're sitting in right there. And palm up with her. Oh, she's giving you some kisses.
All right. Hi, how are you? How are you? This is amazing. My first face-to-face encounter with the wolf. I see your paw, it's so big. Wow, it's amazing being right next to a wolf like this. They're a lot bigger than you would think, especially those paws. I'm just letting her check me out right now. Yeah, I see. Is it okay for me to be in here? Now, what's the best way for me to seem submissive to this wolf, darling?
Always be down on her level.
Okay.
And when you go to pet them, you want under the chin instead of on top of the head.
Okay.
Because she can see your hand that way.
Okay.
Because it can make them nervous if you're going over the top of the head.
So how old is she?
She is 2 years of age.
Okay.
So she's pretty much still a pup.
How are you?
Those beautiful yellow eyes that she has.
But she's pretty much full size right now, correct?
Yeah, she is. She has a full winter coat on. Weight on her would probably be around 80 pounds.
Okay.
78, 80 pounds. And she is a gray wolf, or also known as timber wolf.
Yep.
Gray wolf and timber wolf, same thing. Just depends on where you live and what you call them.
I would say she's the most quintessential look. When you think wolf,
yes,
she is sort of that perfect color design. And they come in multiple different color phases. There's like this gray mixture, black, white. Is there any other that mix in there as well?
You know, your typical is going to be what we call a silver gray, like what you see there. They can be in shades of black and sort of a cream. They can have some reddish tones in there, but that is your most typical. When you think of a gray wolf or a timber wolf, that's sort of what you think of.
Orinda.
Orinda.
So is there a key word or phrase that you use to bring her in closer to you ever?
She likes high-pitched voices. And if you say treats really high, she definitely is treat motivated.
Okay.
So she likes that as well. And she knows I have a couple in my pocket.
I see.
And so she's checking you out, and she said, "Oh, there's something else fuzzy
she's got
there."
My hood.
No.
She's got my hood.
she wants something fuzzy,
You
so
want
I'm going to
something
try to.
play with.
Yep. So what you want to do is make sure that she's not getting behind your neck there, because she'll want to steal them.
Yeah.
Oh, she said, "I'll give you a kiss." So,
now I did grow out this beard just for you guys.
No, none of that.
What is she saying with that little growl there?
She's saying that she doesn't want you to lay down. She wants you to set up like that.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's probably wanting your jacket, and so she's saying, I want that jacket. So she could be a little bit nervous because there's a lot of people in here who don't know what's going on, and I have meat treats, and she's wanting that and not wanting you to take it away from her. And that could be...
That is the full wolf kiss there.
Yes, it is. And I'm glad that she has good breath, and she hasn't ate a roadkill deer.
Yes.
So I'll bring her over here. See how fast she is?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay. There you go. Oh, yeah. It makes you nervous to feed a wolf pieces of meat. You don't want your finger to end up in there, so as soon as she goes for it, I try to keep my hand...
That's calling eat like a wolf.
Yeah, eating like a wolf. It's amazing how fast she's...
Very fast, and you've got to be very careful with your fingers.
Yep.
So very fast. There we go.
There we go.
That's gone that quick.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. We're letting her kind of like dig in like that a little bit. I'm a little nervous that she'll like grab onto my thumb.
The way she is right now, I would probably just do a flat hand there. And what I'm trying to do is get her away so you can sort of just see how quick she is, and if it falls on the ground, let her go. Let her pick it up. Yes.
Yeah. That definitely gets your heart racing a little bit. As soon as she lunges like that, and you can just see, I mean, the power and the strength and the speed it's just incredible.
It is.
I can imagine what it would be like to see wolves in the wild, a pack of them taking down something like a moose. You think about how big an ungulate like that is, and how they work together as a team to bring something down. Just being this close, seeing that power within this proximity, you can understand how they're able to move so quickly to throw that animal off balance, be able to work together as a team to then take down larger prey.
Absolutely. Good girl.
Now when it comes to the pack structure here within the individual enclosures, I noticed that there's 2 wolves per enclosure. Now, are they both considered alphas within their own little domain?
What happens is we try to pair them up, usually in a male-female combination there. I have had up to a 6-pack together, but because you've changed all the dynamics in a captive situation, that does change. Whereas out in the wild, they can disperse from a pack. In captivity, that doesn't happen. And so eventually it keeps dwindling down to where you have 2 compatible pair.
Well, I think we've had the great chance to be up close and personal with a wolf. And now, as I understand it, you guys actually have a roadkill deer that we'll be able to bring into one of the enclosures and actually see how wolves eat.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think I'm ready. If you're ready,
yes,
let's feed some wolves.
Let's do that.
The wolf is considered to be one of the most intelligent and resilient animals on the planet. So how is it that they are struggling to avoid extinction? The answer is simple. humans. Wolf populations have declined due to no weakness of their own, but instead, these animals have been the victim of ruthless persecution. To date across the world, wolves have been eradicated from almost all of their original range. In the United States alone, they now only occupy 10% of their former range. Overhunting for the fur trade, eradication by ranchers who are protecting their livestock, and deforestation are just a few examples of what have driven wolves toward extinction.
So here's what's happening. This is the first time a film crew has ever gone in with a roadkill deer to film wolves. The 2 wolves whose enclosure we're entering are actually the wildest wolves on the property. So we're trying to make sure we're taking all the proper safety precautions before going through with this exercise. As you can see, we have a mule deer here in this wheelbarrow. The deer was struck by a car, and this is great. This is great enrichment for the wolves. This is completely natural food for them to be eating. But like I said, this is the first time anyone will have entered an enclosure with these wolves to do a filming like this, so we gotta make sure we get everything right. This is gonna be wild. All right, here we go. Ready? Entering into the first gate here. This is it. All right, Darlene, I'll have you open the gate. I'm gonna need to try to move as quick as I can to get the carcass up on the hillside before the wolves converge in on it.
So you have Rockshaw here. He's probably
Okay.
going to be your one that's going to take it quicker than her.
Okay.
Because she's up at the top. So he's one that we'll have to watch out for. So
Okay.
The male.
Great. Here we go. Pulling a mule deer carcass into an enclosure of wolves. All right, let's go. All right, now go ahead, you follow me. I'm bringing it up. Dinner served, boys and girls. Now what we want to do is just stay a safe distance back, and the wolves are coming straight in for the carcass. Here we go. Don't want to make them feel as if they're being challenged at all. Look at that. This wolf is so incredibly powerful. This is a small deer, right? A single wolf can pull a 150-pound deer up a hill like this. Okay, as the wolves begin to pull it, we can slowly follow to get closer. And you can see the male, the alpha male, is very much going to be the first one to feed. In the pack mentality, it's always the alphas that are going to be the first one to feast. You have the female, she's the black one, running up in the background there. They're a little cautious at the moment because we have cameras in the enclosure. I see you, big boy, you're good. That's for you. That's for you. Enjoy, that's dinner. That's all you. That's pretty nerve-wracking right there. Okay. Beautiful. Let's see where the wolf takes the carcass, and then we can set up and determine how we're gonna film this. Okay, I see you. I'm gonna move down slowly like this. First order of business for a wolf is to start removing that hair. They will eat some of the hair, and it works as fiber through their system to remove any bone particles or parasites within the organs. He says the alpha male, he's taken charge of the situation. The female, she's very skittish right now. She notices that there's other people within the enclosure, but as she gets more comfortable, she'll come down and also start feeding. When a pack of wolves makes a kill, whether it's a deer, an elk, or a moose, they need to try to consume the meat as quickly as possible. There are many other vandals that will come in and steal a kill. Wolves in the northernmost range of their territory have to face things like grizzly bears and wolverines. Even something as small as a wolverine will come in and chase an entire pack of wolves off of its kill. So they want to eat as quickly as they possibly can, and they'll rip stuff apart and then take it away and stash it. I see you. That's my gift from me to you. Enjoy that deer. You're just kind of testing the limits right now, right? Walking away, making sure, okay, you're not gonna get any closer, are you? This is my deer. If you think you're gonna get closer, I'll show you what a wolf can do to a coyote. So we've backed off even further from the carcass, which has opened up that level of comfort for the female. She's come down now, and she's just eating some of the scraps. Yeah, some interesting little behavior there. Female came in and she was like, I'm gonna start eating. You see the alpha male is definitely taking control of this situation.
By displaying his teeth and snapping, it may look as if Raksha is being overly aggressive towards Chakra, but he's not. He is visually saying, let me have my fill, you will get your turn. This is common, everyday behavior for wolves, and despite the fact that it looks scary, it really shouldn't be.
I have been witness to some pretty cool animal encounters, but I don't think anything tops getting to feed wolves a mule deer carcass. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.
What if I told you that everything you thought you knew, that everything you feared about wolves, was nothing more than a poorly written narrative constructed over 100 years ago? Think about that. What if the story has been wrong the entire time? Consider this. Of the 100 million cattle raised in the United States every year, do you know how many fall prey to wolves? 0.01%. Do you want to know how many humans have been killed by wolves in the past century? 2. This planet needs wolves more than any of us will ever understand. And most of us will never do a single thing to edit the wrongful narrative that has been written. Are you afraid of the big bad wolf? If so, go and visit the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center. I challenge you to face your fears, and I promise you will walk away with a newfound respect and a feeling in your heart that can only be achieved once you've looked into the eyes of a wolf. As a child, I dreamed of one day encountering wolves in the wild, and it's a dream I hope comes true in Colorado. If you live in this beautifully wild state, please support Bill 107, as this initiative will allow for the reintroduction of wolves into the wild and will put PAWS on the ground by 2023. We can't rewrite the past, but for the love of wolves, we can change their future. To help us bring wolves back to Colorado, click on the link in the video description below and visit the Rocky Mountain Wolf Project.